Hi there, in this video I'll be talking about aluminium and more specifically the uses, how it's extracted from its ore, how aluminium is recycled, the possible impacts of the extraction and the recycling of aluminium, and more specifically in terms of environmental and economical points of view. And then at the end I'll give my opinion on all of this. So I'm doing this because aluminium is a very popular metal and it contains a wide range of uses. And it's very popular because of its properties. Aluminium is lightweight, strong, resistant to corrosion, durable, ductile, malleable, conductive, and odorless. All of these properties make aluminium desirable, hence why it's in high demand. We're not in a shortage of aluminium, but it is still in high demand. So, one of the most common ways that aluminium is used is for incandescents. Whether it's soda, beer, or just a tuna can, aluminium is used for all of it. And if you think about this, this is a large sum of aluminium. In addition, the average American buys 351 cans a year. And to put this in perspective, the population is 323 million as of 2016. That's a rough estimate of 113 billion 373 million cans a year just in the US. But aluminium is also used in other things, and in some places it is used in transportation. And this does not necessarily apply to where I live, Oman, but it applies in other places. It is used in transportation because of its amazing strength to weight ratio. This results in greater fuel efficiency. Aluminium isn't the strongest metal, but a solution to this is alloying it with another metal, and hence this will make it stronger. In addition, its corrosion resistance is a great added bonus, as it means that less money is spent on heavy anti-corrosion coatings. A real life example of this would be the Shinkansen E6. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So the Shinkansen E6 is a high speed train that is made out of a large amount of aluminium. So, other uses would be, construction, electrical, consumer goods. And if we think about construction, we can think about that, less maintenance is required to buildings because of the corrosion resistance and aluminium. Aluminium is thermally efficient. It can be curved and cut in many ways, making it easy to use for designs. A real-life example of a primarily aluminium building would be the Empire State Building that was built in 1931. When it comes to electrical, it's not the most conductive. In fact, it's only 63% of copper's conductivity, but it's still conductive, and its low density makes it, the best option for long power lines. If copper was used, a strong support system would be needed, resulting in higher costs. The ductility of aluminium also makes it easy to be formed onto wires. In addition, corrosion resistance helps protect the wires from the elements. Other than power lines, aluminium is used in motors, appliances, and power systems, television, antennas, and satellite dishes. Even some LED bulbs are made of aluminium. When we think about consumer goods, some stuff that, are even available in your house, such as, like TVs, smartphones, tablets, flat screens, also makes modern tech look sleek, durable, light. Aluminium is replacing steel components as it's stronger, allows for heat to dissipate quickly, and is more reliable. Other than tech, aluminium is often used in furniture such as tables, chairs, lamps, and picture frames. So in addition, foil is used often domestically, as well as aluminium pots and pans. These aluminium products conduct heat well, are non-toxic, resistant to rust, and are easy to clean. A real-life example of a consumer product would be the Apple's MacBooks, Macs, and old phones. So bauxite is an aluminium ore, and I'm not going to really go over how it is extracted other than it's extracted by mining. And so the bauxite is purified to yield a white powder, aluminium oxide, from which aluminium can be extracted. So like the extraction is done by a process called electrolysis, and So they know how much aluminium will be produced by conducting mass calculations. Before this, aluminium oxide must be made molten so that electricity can pass through it. It has a high melting point of over 2,000, making it expensive to melt. So due to its price, it is instead dissolved in molten cryolite, I think I'm pronouncing that right, an aluminium compound with a lower melting point than aluminum oxide. This reduces some of the energy costs required to extract aluminium. Both the cathode, the negative electrode, and the anode, the positive electrode, are made of graphite, a form of carbon. Aluminium metal forms at the cathode, the negative electrode, and sinks to the bottom of the tank. Please feel free to refer back to the diagram on screen for any assistance. Oxygen is formed at the anode, the positive electrode. The oxygen formed then reacts with the carbon of the positive electrode, forming carbon dioxide, and they slowly burn away. This results in the process to cost more as the positive electrodes have to be replaced often. Some half equations for you. So at the negative electrode, cathode's half equation is Al3 plus 3E minus produces Al. And at the positive electrode, the anode, the half equation is 2O2 minus produces O2 plus 4E minus. I'll put these on screen for you guys just so you get a better understanding. So what this means is that the electrons are being removed from the cathode and electrons are being gained at the anode, meaning that an electrical current is passing through the electrolyte. Okay, so a consumer throws aluminium can into a recycling bin. The recycling bins are then emptied into a recycling truck and taken to a treatment plant. In the treatment plant, the aluminium cans are dumped and inspected. They check for anything other than aluminium and remove it, making it ready for processing. The aluminium cans are then turned into a molten aluminium, thus removing the coating and artwork that are on the cans. This is done through a remelt process. This melted aluminium is then turned into large blocks of ingots. Each one of these ingots contain 1.6 million aluminium cans. These large blocks are then sent to mills, in which they are rolled out, resulting in the aluminium to have greater strength and flexibility. The aluminium is then reused and is then primarily used for aluminium can and other food packaging. In a few weeks, these cans are then sent back and this process is repeated. The process of turning bauxite into aluminium is very energy intensive, meaning it will affect our environment. Energy is generated in power plants, and power plants release harmful greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides. All of these will release into the atmosphere, and that can cause a range of issues. Not only is it expensive and to create this much energy and for these companies to pay for all this, but sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides can cause acid rain, which brings a lot of issues such as eroding buildings, killing plants, acidifying lakes, causing irritation. And again, these are expenses because the government and private businesses, they need to find money so they can rebuild their buildings and stuff. In addition to this, carbon dioxide is released, and this affects global warming, and this is another environmental con that we can look at. Just the energy required to do this process in itself causes a significant amount of damage to our environment. The perfluorocarbon gas released during the aluminium extraction process is 9,200 times more harmful than carbon dioxide in terms of their effect on global warming. Putting this into perspective, we can actually just see how bad it is. During the extraction of bauxite, the strip mining process removes all vegetation in the mining regions. Farmers may be affected, tourism may be affected, and this results in a loss of food as well as soil erosion. So we can expect that inflation of some food prices and this again will affect not only people, but it will affect the economy. Um, so the toxic mine tailings that are left over eventually end up in local water sources, contaminating the water, and then this is another environmental con. So other than the perfluorocarbon, list of other problematic elements are produced during the extraction of aluminium. There are also some particles that may be released during the processing, and these are combustion byproducts. These particles released into the atmosphere can affect the quality of air, so this can technically be another environmental effect, but it can also be another economical effect because if you were to think about it, um, people don't want to live in such areas with horrible quality of air, so they may begin moving out of these areas. So, recycling old aluminium just consumes about 5% of the energy releases, and that's a mere 5% of the greenhouse gases. But this means this is incredibly good for the environment because we're saving not only from an economical point of view, but we're also saving from an environmental point of view. And we need to think about this because this is our planet, and it's going to be our future sons and daughters and their sons and daughters' planet, and we need to take care of this planet if we want them to live happy lives. The entire process of aluminium recycling is actually achieved in less than 60 days. So putting all of this recycling information into perspective, recycling just 4 cases of beer containing a total of 96 cans saves enough energy to keep a laptop running for well over a month. This is insane, and at the same time, it's good for the economy. A lot of land is used up for disposable space, and aluminium cans are disposed there. If we were to recycle, we would be saving a lot of space. This is very good for the economy because that space can be used for other things such as buildings, property, and yeah. So another thing that's good for both the environment and the economy is that less places will be mined, meaning more areas for vegetation. As I mentioned earlier, this helps tourism, helps farmers. We don't need to worry about inflation of some food prices. For these reasons, and I personally believe that it is worthwhile to recycle aluminium. And I'll say this because, as I mentioned earlier, it is our planet, and it's going to be your children's planet and their children's planet. And I don't know about the people watching this video right now, but for me personally, I want them to live in a happy and safe place. And right now, there isn't that much aluminium recycled every year. A little less than half of all aluminium cans sold each year in the United States and worldwide are recycled and turned into new aluminium cans and other products. Some countries, they do very well. These countries include, like, we're talking about Switzerland, Norway, Germany, Finland, and these countries, recycle more than 90% of all aluminium beverages, the containers, obviously. But if we were just to think about it, that most countries don't do this, and I just went over the benefits of recycling, and just to see the benefits, and not many people recycle. If we were all to recycle, and every single one of us was to just make this small difference, we would have a much better place to live in. And that's why I mainly think it is important. If there's one thing you guys can take from this video, is that change starts with you. You have the power to make a change, not only from the environment, but also from the economy. Stop blaming other people and start making a change. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys make the right